everyone, it's Ann from Annelieses Creations. I wanted to do a little bit of a flip through of my junk journal my way. This is kind of a la Shannon Green and Kelly Donovan. I haven't done one in a long time on camera. I haven't even done a flip through of my most recent pages. I've kind of forgotten about this guy here. And I noticed that there's a lot of people out there kind of doing a similar thing now. And I kind of like to give credit where credit's due. So I'm giving credit to Shannon Green and Kelly Donovan because that's where I got the idea from. And so, yeah, so I always like to give credit. Anyhow, so here's the front page. If you've been following me for a long while, you have seen some of these pages being done. And so that's the cover, self-expression, not self-obsession. And here's a spread I did, and it's got a little pocket with a card on it, except it's gotten a little stained, but you can see what I did on the back of it as well as the front. It was a playing card that I altered. And here's an ATC I did. That went in there in that pocket. And this pocket idea with the envelope, I got this idea from Mr. Victor Crafter. I'll post a link down at the bottom to Shannon Green's as well as Kelly Donovan's and Mr. Victor Crafter's channels in case you don't know who they are, but I'm pretty sure most of you know who they are. And here was something I did, a practice page, because I was thinking of doing some kind of a canvas kind of like this, and I never got around to doing it. And this was one of my favorite pages, as well as those that saw me do this page. It was actually an advertisement in my that I had done a while ago, and this was a page in this magazine that had an advertisement for boots. But I went ahead and did some extra things to alter the page and make it my own. And I put these boots were made for walking. And next page, I kind of was just doodling around. Junk journals are an awesome way to experiment with different techniques, different styles, just to get ideas of how to do things. And so that's what I did with this page. And then this was another page I did. The background was, I think it was like a perfume ad, and I went ahead and kept the flowers that were in the background, and I added this girl in to the page. So there's a lot of ways of using a magazine and altering it to make it your own. And here I did this one with an iguana that I found in some paint advertisement. And yeah, so I really liked this page a lot. That one I really enjoyed doing. And this one was a girl that I altered. I used clear gesso and altered her. I never did this one. I didn't do this one on camera. That one I did off camera. And my pages are kind of coming undone because I used a glue stick. So this is what happens when you use a glue stick. Eventually it does come undone. And I think if I ever do another junk journal like this, I'm going to prep it a lot better because it's starting to split here as well. So if that happens, I may end up having to rebind this into something else later on. But in the meantime, it's still kind of staying sort of together. And this one was one of my favorite pages. I did this on Periscope when I was doing Periscope back in the day when it first started becoming popular. Periscope wasn't my kind of thing to do live, and also it seems to have issues with stability. It kept falling in and out of connection, and so I just quit doing the Periscope. So this was one of them, and I really love this. And it says here, time is melting away. And I love clocks and watches. I've always had a thing about them. And so yeah, so I altered this page. I did a background on it. Then this one was just sort of an experiment, coming up with different ways of doing women's faces and adding some cool stuff to it. And also this bird I did on a live Periscope with Cinnamon Cooney. Susan Hiles. I think Gina Ahrens was in it. We did kind of a hop on Periscope, and this was my funny looking bird. I was winging it for sure. And then here's another one. Have you ever had one of those days? And I kind of just had made this guy, and he looked a little like, okay, like he's having a day. So I put that in there. And I really enjoyed this one. I had to use this unicorn. I found it in an advertisement in one of my magazines, and I had to cut it out. And there was this beautiful wing from another one. And so I had to include that in this page. And then this one, I think it was Gina that sent me this silhouette of a stencil she had, or could have been one that she made, and it was really cool, so I put that on here. And I had a Paris Eiffel Tower that someone had sent me in some happy mail, so I included that. And the background was actually a piece of drop paper that I had used, and it had a lot of layers, so I added more layers and added more things to it to create the background, and then I glued it on the back of this page. And then this one is one you guys have not yet seen. This was one I did a while back off camera. I used a piece of patterned paper, you know, the patterns, sewing patterns that you would buy back in the day. I think you still can buy them. And use that on the back of here, and had some pieces of happy mail that people had sent me, and some happy mail and some material die cuts, as well as some cool pictures I got out of a magazine. And this was a stencil, jelly printed stencil I did of two birds. So I love this stamped image someone had sent me in some happy mail, so I had to include that. And then there's some Japanese print in the background here. And then I got this one here, and I just incorporated all kinds of cutouts from different magazines and incorporated them into this, as well as added some jelly printed papers in the background. And yeah, I just really love, this is one of my favorite pages I've put together since this Boots Are Made for Walking. That's one of my favorite pages, and this has become another one of my favorites. I haven't done anything on this one yet. And then this one, I'm not sure if I showed this one on camera at all, but it says The Original Material Girl, Barbie Dolls. And this was in honor of Paris, when Paris got attacked about a year or two ago now. I think a year ago. And I just was feeling it, and I put It's a Mixed Up World. And yeah, so that's kind of my funky page. And then I did a en masse page here that's kind of been inspired by Shannon Green's en masse journals that she's done. She started that after her JB5s. So yeah, so I did purses, and I love this woman. She is a model, and I think she's in her 80s now, and she started her modeling career late in life. And I just love her glasses that she wears, and just the whole kind of joie de vivre that she has. And I love that I found this in one of the advertisements for purses, and so I added the S, Bags of Tricks, to this page. And of course, I always have to work with clocks or watches or whatever, so I said, give me 5 minutes. And if you see on Shannon Green's Facebook page, she loved my piece, that she added it with some other people's pieces for her cover page, which I thought that was awesome. And then I'm obsessed with not just timepieces, clocks and watches and things like that, but I'm also obsessed with perfume bottles, especially vintage perfume bottles. And so I went and cut out ads of all kinds of perfume bottles, and so that I'm not advertising any of their perfumes, I covered the writing up, or their logos up, with flowers and butterflies and jewelry and bling, that kind of thing. And this one I'm in the process of altering. I'm still not quite done with her, and maybe I will do her on camera. And here's another one I did off camera, Life Goes On. And of course, there are people that know me know that I love my Paris, and I do love bling and things like that. So I always add something to add a little extra oomph to it. And I just took bits and pieces of things left over from other projects, kind of like my scrap Rolodex card a week series that I'm doing. Kind of the same idea. I used the background here. I used a piece of a security envelope I used in the back of this, and added some paint and added some washi tape and some jelly printed papers and a die cut here, and just added all kinds of things. And this is just one that I just was experimenting with styles and backgrounds. So I think I showed this one before in a flip through, I'm not sure. And then this one was one that I did Christmas of last year of 2015. So it's been a little over a year since I did this one. And I just found pieces of things in magazines and put that together to make a Christmas spread. And then this was another Christmas kind of spread. I did some snowflakes with some stencils I had. And this is a girl that I'm thinking of altering as well. So I put some clear gesso already over her, and it's kind of wrinkling up, and I don't really care because I kind of like the texture that magazines give. And this one I haven't yet decided what I'm going to do with yet, if I'm going to keep it and add to it, or if I'm just going to cover it all together. Not sure what. And then this was one that I did on en masse again, using glasses, frames of life. And you can see my pages are coming undone, so I'm going to have to figure something out to glue those back. Then I also did another en masse of lipsticks, and it says Kiss Kiss. And I did one with shoes, Soulmates. And this one I did on camera. I used some jelly printed papers and ripped them up and created a background, and found this Buddha that I really liked, and wrote, meditation and concentration are the way to a life of serenity. Can't read today, sorry. And then I did a little boot one, and says Soulmates, work your shoes. It should say work your boots, but hey, right? And that's it for this little flip through. And stay tuned, as I'm going to try and finish this year at some point in weeks that I don't have many videos going up. I will go ahead and add some more to this. And so I hope that you'll join me on this adventure. And thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do. Comment, share, I already said subscribe, duh. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Toodles. See you next time. Bye.